always look slim in it. Guaranteed. Guaranteed, guaranteed. And if you don't, tell me in the comments below. Hi guys, welcome back. I think we can all relate to this. How can you look slimmer in your clothes? I think it's one of those things that every one of us has battled with, and we still battle with. I don't care what size you are. You can be a size 0, you can be a size 20, you can be anywhere in between. It doesn't really matter. I think it's just, regardless, we're all our own worst enemies, and we all want to know, okay, does my bum look bigger in this? Okay, so necklines. V-necks predominantly tend to look better and have a more slimming effect on you. I'm talking about anything that shows this part of you. Showing here just elongates this part of you, and it also makes your eye go all the way up and down because you've got almost like an arrow effect that's deepening this part of your neckline. It sort of mimics the shape of your torso, because generally speaking our shoulders are wider and usually our waist tends to taper in. So it's mimicking that effect of V here, V there. Together that gives an overall slimming effect. For shoes, you probably already know this, but it's true. Heels just help. They really do. They help to slim you out. It's one of the things that I personally do, and I think that in fact I know it, any woman can do this. Petite, tall, short, medium, fat, skinny, in between, I don't care. When you bung on a pair of heels, and it doesn't have to be stilettos, it can be block heels, it just instantly slims out the body. You don't have a sort of stocky, stumpy look. Your eye instantly just makes you look so much taller and slimming because you've got a heel on. And another trick is to go with a block heel, or maybe you have larger calves. I find that wearing a skinny stiletto heel, in my opinion, it just emphasizes the width of your legs and the width of your calf muscles. Whereas you can balance it out by wearing a much stronger, thicker block heel. It just elongates you out. It balances everything out because it doesn't have a massive contrast between a wider calf muscle and a skinnier heel. Or you can always go with wedges. I find that that's really a godsend because it's comfort and it's height at the same time. Now with patterns, I find that generally speaking, smaller prints overall tend to look more flattering and slimming than larger prints. Larger prints have a magnifying effect across the whole body, whereas a smaller print does the exact opposite. Also, stripes are your best friend. You hear a lot of people who say don't wear horizontal stripes because it just makes you look wider. But I also know there are a lot of women, they don't give a toss and they'll just wear horizontal stripes. So as always, I'll always say this, do you? If you love wearing that, wear it. But generally speaking, vertical stripes have a very elongating effect to the body. It just lengthens you out. And it's that same thing, the same principle of the neckline that goes like this. It's that arrow effect of just making you just look more sort of north and south than east west. When it comes to dress and skirt lengths, try and look for a hem that stops at the skinniest or the smallest part of your leg, because to the human eye that is looking at someone, you are continuing that look in your imagination. It gives the illusion that the rest of your leg is that same size, even if it's not. I adopt this all the time whenever I wear a midi skirt. As long as that hem is hitting at the skinniest part of me, I'm good. Now belts do have a slimming effect because again they kind of emphasize this and that, which always looks very slimming on most people and most sizes. I would recommend that you can go with a skinny belt or a large obi style belt. I find that the wide obi style belts, say like a go across here, they just do this to your body. So imagine if you've got like a larger frame, or any frame rather, let's put it that way, all it does is it emphasizes and it draws attention to a smaller section that you are creating yourself. So I'll link below to the video that I showed you in the different ways to wear shirts. I think it was 11 ways, I'm not sure. But there was a section, fast forward to the obi style belts. It just has that effect of that is drawing you in. A tip that I picked up through, I think it was through a stylist, and then I just noticed it myself, was wear a belt that is slightly above your fat or fattest part, if the best way I can just explain it. I'll try and insert a couple of pictures here. Usually, because they sit above your belly button, that tends to overall be the most slimming part of a woman's body. So it completely hides the pooch if you've got like a stomach here, because you, instead of putting the belt through the fattest part of you, you've lifted it up just an inch or two, not much, and it's just enough and just to slim you up and to let the rest of your larger area, maybe here, just skim and hide. It works every single time, and I always do it now. I find that puff shoulder accents on shirts and dresses just have an overall slimming effect. I'm talking the ones that slightly sort of ruche out here. It has like what I call a wing effect, and I really, from a style point of view, I love it. But also I find it has the same effect of almost like a structured blazer, in that it creates those corners that I talk about, where it goes out and then in. And so because you've got like a puffed shoulder detail here, your eye has nowhere else to go but to make your arm go in, because the puff is out here and your arm is here. I hope to God that makes sense. I'll insert some couple of pictures here of examples of what I'm talking about. But because it's creating that width here, it's creating a contrast between that width, the extra width, which you are not, and bringing you, what you are, actually in a little bit, which has a slimming, tricking eye effect. Go with flowing fabrics. I know I mentioned this before in my how to make inexpensive clothes look chic video, which I'll link below, but flowing fabrics that just skim is your best friend for trying to look slimmer. Flowing fabrics, they just do that. It just has the overall effect of just narrowing down the body. And imagine that principle on dresses, on skirts, on shirts, blouses, any type of material. For outerwear, go for structured blazers, anything that gives you shape. Because if, for example, you're somebody who has, I don't know, you have much more of a curvier shape, if you want to have a much more slimmer overall appearance, then that is what a blazer will do for you. Loads of people talk about blazers, and there is a very good reason that they do. They truly do slim you down. They add a shape to you that wasn't already there, and it gives you that and everything just hangs off of after that. Also think about what you're wearing from the waist down in terms of pants. I find that overall that skinny jeans, ironically, don't necessarily make you look skinny. They, to me, do the opposite, because I've said this before, but most women have a sort of this shape width in terms of their hips, and then they sort of taper down to their ankles. And a lot of skinny jeans, especially those with a ton of lycra, all they do is just emphasize that, in my opinion. They just do the same thing of making you look and feel like you've got stuffed sausages on. So all it's doing is all the way up and down your leg, you're just seeing all the little like lumps and bumps that you may have, and you don't want to do that. Much better going off for a straight cut pair of something that goes straight up and down, whether it's your denim straight cut jeans, whether it is a flared jean, because a flared jean balances out the width of your hip and the width of the hem. So it goes like this, then that, then that. And the same applies to wide leg pants. Get them in the most fluid, drapey, really drapey fluid material. Those really do look good. Try and get it again in a couple of sizes up, because it does trick the eye. It makes you look smaller than you really are. Wear it a little bit lower slung on the hip. Make sure that it literally hits the ground. And if it's not hitting the ground, make sure it is literally only like half an inch above it, because all it's doing is elongating you out and making you look so slim. Your legs are going to look like they go on forever and they come out of your armpits. Add a heel, a wedge heel especially, absolutely amazing. You will always look slim in it, guaranteed. Guaranteed. And if you don't, tell me in the comments below, and I'm going to talk to you about it offline if you want, online in front of everybody. I really don't care, but I love to see that look, and it does work. When you're thinking about the shoes, the point of a shoe is always more elongating than a round toe front shoe, which has the effect of having a sort of stump look. Oh God. Stump look sounds so unflattering. I'm just going to say it doesn't look as slimming as a narrower type of shoe, whether it's a very pointy shoe or an almond shaped shoe or anything that just sort of narrows down at the point. That is the kind of shoe you want, because it has that leg elongating effect. Your eye just goes up, it goes all the way down, and just overall it just creates a very slimming silhouette to your leg. Structured clothes tend to have a very slimming effect versus clothes that are, say, made of jersey, which cling to you. I say that, for example, there is a couple of dresses that I've seen online. I'm going to show you them here. These are my definition of structured dresses. Why? Because they are formed with the paneling of the material versus a jersey type of dress, which has a more of a clingy type of effect. You're sort of always pulling it down. Structured dresses don't do that. You never pull them down because they're cut in that shape already. There is nothing else for the material to do. Look for things that don't have lycra in, because you want it to be probably like 100% cotton type of dresses. And again, I'm going to show you a couple of examples here and I'll link them below. But to me, these are kind of tips and tricks, items that you can pick up right now in this season that will have a slimming effect on you. And the same applies to coats in the winter and the fall as well. Look for coats that already have that paneling in them, where they have the effect of maybe going slightly in and then out, and that already sort of creates and it draws for you the shape on your body. Or you can have those car coats or traditional pea coats, which have a sort of boxy shape and they just hang off the body. You put on that pea coat, which is cut like that, that is the shape that the public sees, and it's instantly slimming. Fantastic. Also, your posture. This is something, as she says, standing up as tall as she possibly can. It's a little trick that everyone can do, but it's like the camera. It adds 10 pounds when you just sort of like this. When you all lie down like that versus being like this, and just all you're doing is just imagining something is pulling from the top of your head. It instantly knocks 10 pounds off of you. I know it's like, oh really? But it does. It works. It's absolutely true. And not only that, your clothes look 10 times better when you're sort of sitting up a bit straighter. Hair up. I know this is going to sound really weird, but these are like little things. Hair up. Hair up has an overall slimming effect because usually it's exposing your neck, which is showing your shoulder line as well. I know that sounds really weird because like, how can your hair do that just because you've got it up? But it kind of does do that. I think about brides as well, like all the friends who I've seen get married and they do their hair up, they instantly look slimmer when they do that. Little things as well, like color. I know that generally speaking, brighter colors tend to add width to a body than darker colors. And yes, that is very true. But I don't want to be sort of trapped into this notion that, oh, because I am bigger sized, I can't wear a bright yellow outfit, or I can't wear a white outfit. Everything comes down to the cut, like I said before, the way it hangs on you, the fabric, the way it drapes on you, the structure which comes from the fabric from the first point. Also, remember what I said about, like for example, if you want to wear a pair of white wide leg pants, you flipping go for it. Underwear is absolutely crucial. It's so important. They go over any, like I said, any sort of lumps and bumps. You can get them nice and high-waisted. Those to me are my favorite ones of all. Not only do they look retro, at least to me they do, but they are the most forgiving when you wear your clothes over it. So get them nice and high, sucks you in. It's a corseting effect. Oh, they are absolute lifesavers, and I don't care what your boyfriend, husband, ex, whatever says, you wear them because they work. Clothes. I think that overall these are things that we can all relate to. Like I said before, whatever size we are, it doesn't matter. We can all relate to trying to figure out what is the best sort of way to sort of look slimmer in our clothes. So I hope this video was helpful for you. Hopefully at least one thing helped, then like I've always said, my job is done. So I really hope that that did help. So if you did like this video, please do hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I guess I'll see you next week. Bye guys. Not just it. So these are my trips. Okay. Did I leave anything out? I feel like I left something out. And you want to sort of have much of a narrower, slimmer looking look, then the slimmer looking look. Get skimming. Yes, shapewear. Oh, shapewear. I think that's everything. Did I do everything? I keep asking you lot if I did everything. I don't know why I do that. It's like, yeah, I already said that. God, I think I'm going crazy.